Joining us now is our pal John McLaughlin from upstate New York. He is the pollster for Donald Trump. And he has brand new, just out today, exit polling information for us. First of all, I get a lot of mail. How do you do this? How do you do it? So you polled 1,000 voters earlier this month. How does that go down? Just briefly.
Well, that was between the 4th and the 6th. We did 1,000 voters who voted in the election, either early or on election day. And it's the one poll we can't get wrong because we have voter lists. We call them ahead of time. We know what the results are, and we get to target and weight it by the actual results.
How do you get a voter list? How do you get a voter list?
They exist. They're databases. There's databases of all Americans, consumers, et cetera. But every Secretary of State and every state keeps a voter list. It's updated. There's companies that sell you the data. I have to pay for the samples. So you pay for the samples. The Republican Party uses certain people. They have a company called Data Trust that keeps their data. There's other ones like I360, et cetera. They have every voter in the country. And we know like 5,000 to 7,000 pieces of information on each voter. We have a database.
Okay. So you got 50,
have a model of results.
You got 50 states, but you only have 1,000 recipients. So you get every state in there, or what do you do?
Yes, we do. Some states like Alaska get 1 or 2 calls. That's about it. But you proportion it by the actual vote, by the way it came out. Like you had mentioned that there were 153 million votes so far. There was just under 160 million in 2020. And we know who those voters are. There's 90 million more people that were eligible that still didn't vote, and but they're eligible and they're out there, and so we know who they are too. But Donald Trump won this race decisively.
Okay, and I don't think anybody quibbles with that. I think that is a known fact. Thank God for the country. We didn't want to go through what we went through in 20. Okay, so the first headline, and you correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just going by what our researchers came up with. Is that the primary reason Donald Trump was elected was the high prices in America. People are suffering because of that. Is that true?
Top issue, without a doubt. 4 or 5 voters said they were negatively impacted by it. Half struggling to just get by.
Okay. So if that's the case, why didn't the Democratic Party know that? Because they stayed away from that totally.
They caused it. They caused the inflation.
I know they caused it, but they could have made an excuse that COVID did this and that somebody did that. Putin did it. You know how they are. But they just stayed away from it.
They tried. Remember, she had a plan. They were going to go after price gouging, et cetera, like that. More big socialism.
All right. So they basically punted on that, the Democrats, and people recognized they had no solution, no known solution for this high prices. The second one was the reason that people voted for Kamala Harris wasn't for her, is because they hated Trump.
Right. And that's what our exit polls said, where virtually they were running a negative campaign. She didn't stand for anything. Trump, on the other hand, we were running a campaign. Remember, he was ahead. And when we won the nomination in record style, I mean, it was like bigger than Reagan, bigger than anything else, blowaway nomination. He was ahead of Biden then. And then he made the lead so much bigger that they forced him out. And what he did was he maintained that lead. A week out from the election, I had a conversation with him. I said, Mitt Romney was ahead by a point at this stage in the popular vote. He ended up losing. And Trump told me he's not Mitt Romney. And I said, you just got to make your putts. We've been ahead since the primaries. We're going to go ahead, and you have to just keep on driving it on the issues, reducing inflation, securing the border, lowering crime, ending the endless wars. And he ran on the issues. And his job approval in our post-election survey, which is on our website, McLaughlinOnline.com, he had a 56% positive job approval, only 43 negative. Harris was a -1. Biden was like a -6.
When was that? When was that approval rating? When did you post it?
That was it's on our website now. That's from that.
No, but was that before the vote or after the vote?
That was after the vote. Before the vote, in the battleground states, we had Donald Trump net positive on his job rating, and Harris was a 43 approved, 53 disapproved. So we set up a contrast that Donald Trump could solve these problems, do the job, and she was part of the problem. She was Joe Biden. She was Joe Biden's vice
Yeah,
president.
she couldn't make any progress off him because she doesn't disagree with anything he did. Now, your survey shows abortion was hardly an issue at all in this thing, even though
Well,
the media tried to ramp that up. Folks, 6%, nothing.
right, because Donald Trump stayed in character. I mean, he basically he stood where he stood during the primaries when he was president, et cetera. He was going to leave it up to the states to decide. The Democrats poured probably $1 billion into ads saying we were going to have a national abortion ban. It wasn't true. The voters read through that. Plus, they had other more serious problems that they could see. You know, I said to anyone, if they were undecided on election day, go to the supermarket, go look at your rent, look
Yeah,
at your
sure.
utility bill, look at your mortgage, decide who
Look,
you're voting for.
but no doubt about it. It was the economy that drove it. Now, you were right on in everything that you predicted, all your surveys, all of that. Did Trump thank you? Did he give you a bonus? Did he call and say, "Hey, why don't you and your family go to Tahiti for a couple of weeks on me"? I mean, what did he do?
Well, we haven't spoken lately because I'm not looking for a job. Everybody else,
I
I've
know
got my job. I
everybody's
got my
looking for a
business.
job.
My goal was to make your predictions come true because you were giving them good advice. If you watch the
I
show.
give everybody good advice. I mean, I'm a nonpartisan advice giver, but he sometimes didn't think I gave him good advice because I don't just knee jerk it. You know, I'm not a choir master here, but I followed. You're giving me credit, but I followed your lead in the sense
Mhm.
that you must have been on a half dozen times since September 10th. Okay, and every time you were on, you were very specific, which puts you apart from most of these bloviators that work at the politics. And what you said bore out. I can't. I'm looking at your sheet here on the exit polling, so you must be a swami or something because you hit it.
No, no, we just ask the American voters. We have inside information. If you do the polls in an unbiased fashion, and if you look at what the people are saying, you always talk about the people. When the folks tell us that their top issue is inflation and they're worried about immigration and they're worried about crime and they're worried about wars, and if you've got the candidate that can solve those problems, because that's why Donald Trump was running. He
Sure.
cares deeply about the country. He's patriotic. He wants to go back to the good policies that he had as president, and he's going to do a better job this time
I hope so,
because
but he's got to be a little bit more contemplative before he dives into waters that are going to muddy his agenda. That's just my opinion. But let's get back to you. So you say, okay, it's easy, and you're saying that, but I'm going to after you disappear from our program and we say goodbye, I'm going to run down all the polls that were wrong. Okay, and a lot of them, most of them were wrong.
Mhm.
So if you say it's easy and the folks are, what are these pinheads doing when they got it so wrong? Are they dishonest in your opinion?
By the way, it's not easy. It's you have to be careful how you do it. Statistics is an inexact science. I got an MBA in it. If you're careful and you know what you're doing and you have some experience how to read public opinion, it was right there. But and it was really I'm only as good as the people I work for. And Donald Trump, as you said it, was a historic president. You're going to have to add a whole nother chapter that may be longer at the end of your book.
Well, I'll do
Because
something on it. But he doesn't know, in my opinion, or if he does, he hasn't stated it, how remarkable, that's the word, what he accomplished is in the context of history. I know.
it's right.
Maybe
You're
someday
exactly,
you, me, and him can have some supper and say, do you have any idea what you pulled off here? Now, when you say what he pulled off, it sounds like he's a genius and this and he may be, but it was the folks who did it. But
yes.
nobody has come close in this country or any other country that I can see, all right, to what he accomplished.
You're right.
It's a stunning story.
No, you're exactly right. Because in 2016, I compared him to Andrew Jackson. And he said 1824, said no, 1828. But that was the election where Jackson he beat the establishment, the Republican establishment. He beat the Washington establishment.
Yeah, it'd be
Trump
Quincy
has now
and
beaten
the boys. Right. But it wasn't close to this because Jackson didn't have a hostile media and a hostile uh, infrastructure in Washington, both working against him in dishonest ways. Jackson
Right.
didn't have that because he would have shot them dead. He would have kicked the door into the Tennessee newspaper and just shot all of them if they had done that. All right, John, you're the best. I got to tell you, I got to tell
Thank
my audience, man, if I ever have any need for any poll, you're the guy I'm going to. So congratulations for
you.
all your success. And Trump should be sending you and your family to Tahiti. And I'm going to tell him that.
Well, that's okay. I'll see you next season at a Yankee game.
All right.
So,
See you later. Today's economic climate, very stressful, as you know. But with the Fed finally dropping interest rates, there's no better time to put you and your family in a better financial position. As a homeowner, American Financing can help you free credit card debt by using equity. They've already helped thousands of families just like yours. On average, American Financing saves borrowers more than $800 a month. That's like a $10,000 raise in the marketplace. Better yet, it costs nothing to find out how much you can save. They are even closing some in as little as 10 days. And if you start today, you may not have to make next month's mortgage payment. There's no better time to turn your situation around. Please call today, 888-462-9557. 888-462-9557, AmericanFinancing.net. Joining us now, West Palm Beach, Florida, Eric Bowling, and he is on Rumble, YouTube, all over the place with a presentation called Bowling. At first, I thought it was 10 pins, but then I realized it was political commentary named after him. It took me a while. I had my bowling shirt and shoes on to watch bowling, but I didn't need them. Before we get into your opinion on the cabinet stuff, and it is hysteria officially now, what is your percentage of agreement with the Trump administration? Are you 100%? Are you 75? Where are you on that?
Well, Bill, really good to be back with you. I want to wish you a happy 50th golden anniversary. Like, you've been married to the media for 50 years. I believe it's golden. Where am I with Trump? If you remember in 2015 and 2016, early on at Fox News, I was probably the only on-air talent who said Trump is going to be the next president. There were others that came along later. Hannity is a well-known, he's a friend of mine, well-known uh, eventual Trump supporter. Mark Levin, the same thing. But they were Ted Cruz guys and so I've known Trump for the better part of 30 years, as you have, and I just saw the businessman. So where am I with Trump? I line up, let's say I line up almost perfectly with his ideology. I'm a newer school, America First, MAGA type versus the more traditional Republican type, the Mitt Romneys, the George Bushes, and those types. So I would say ideologically, I line up perfectly with him. I'm a friend of his during the first administration. It was not unusual to get a phone call at night from the White House saying the president wants to have a chat with you. And I would take the call, and whether I'm in bed and sleeping, it didn't matter. I've been to the White House dozens of times to meet with him and talk to him. If that's the question, that's where I stand.
Okay. Is there anything that you have criticized him for, say, in this campaign?
Yes, there is one issue that I've criticized him for in the first one, and this one, I'm against escalating fees and tariffs against foreign countries.
All right,
I
so
think these
a
tariffs
business
should
a
come down.
business issue. Okay.
Indeed.
All right, but all of the cabinet picks, you're okay with them? No problem with any of them?
Well, let's put it this way. I believe that the American people have given Donald Trump,
Yeah, but
President
that's the
47.
pat answer. Come on, stop. I'm talking to you, Eric
No,
Bowling.
it's
all right?
relevant, though. Bill, you and I go way back. This
No,
is
it's
relevant.
not.
They gave him a mandate. It
No,
doesn't matter
you're a
who.
political commentator. You shouldn't be
Okay.
swayed by any voting or anything like that. You should make up your own mind and give your opinion to the people. I'm scolding you now.
I think
Is there
of
any
the cabinet members
person that
Okay,
you
go
don't
ahead.
approve of?
Maybe Howard Lutnick. Maybe it would be the
All
only
right,
one.
another
but the rest.
economic.
Yeah,
thing.
well, yeah,
Okay.
but for reasons that you
Do
may or
you, do
may not
you
understand. That's okay.
understand? out of this Morning Consult poll, and that's a left-wing outfit, Morning Consult, okay, that the only cabinet person underwater is Matt Gaetz. Do you understand why?
Of course, I understand why. There's
What
a
would that?
media smear against
Why
him.
is he underwater?
Media, because the media hates Matt Gaetz. They've hated him straight through. He's been a Trump loyalist from 2016 straight through. There's no varying on his loyalty to Donald Trump. He also went after, he was instrumental, probably the most instrumental voice that got rid of Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy's gavel.
Was that a good
grasped
thing?
From his dying. Of course, it was a good thing.
It was a good
McCarthy was
thing
an old
to
school
dump
rhino.
McCarthy. Wait. Why was it a good thing to dump McCarthy? It seemed to me that he was a fairly effective speaker, whereby he had access to both sides of the House. Why was it good to dump him?
Because there's a clear divide in the Republican Party, as you know, since Donald Trump came along. There's the old school establishment wing of the party, and that was Kevin McCarthy, the Bushes, the Romneys, the Roves. They're all together in a type. And then there came Donald Trump, which was a new conservative. It was a more
Yeah,
America
but he had a
first,
good
more
relationship
populist.
with Trump. I mean, they're buddies.
Not really. You don't believe that,
yeah,
do you, Bill?
McCarthy and
You don't
Trump.
believe that.
Yes, I do.
You don't believe that.
Yes,
You
I
think
do.
Trump and McCarthy, I mean, clearly Trump got along with Mitch McConnell as well as he possibly could too, but there's no love lost between McConnell and
McConnell
Trump.
detested Donald Trump, and it was obvious.
And
McCarthy
he
did.
detested the same way.
All right.
Well, no, come
We
on.
disagree
Bill.
on that.
McCarthy knew he needed Donald Trump's approval to get anything done, and I think grabbing the gavel out of McCarthy and handing it to Speaker Johnson was an upgrade. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it was an upgrade.
All right. I'm not going to quibble with that. I didn't like. I thought McCarthy did his job, and Gaetz was after him, and he has a right to do it. I'm not saying he didn't have a right to do it. All right. So my beef with Gaetz isn't about all these accusations that the dishonest media is, because you are innocent until proved. That's due process. And I give the former congressman due process. He's going to get murdered when the House Ethics Committee comes out. You know that. It's going to be horrible. And he's not going to be able to survive that. He's not going to be the Attorney General. But my beef is he's not qualified to be the Attorney General. He's not. He's never done a job like that. It's a humongous agency that needs to be drained from top to bottom. Yeah, he can go in and throw grenades, but what's he going to build it up with? He doesn't have that kind of law enforcement experience. Am I wrong?
Well, look, you said two things there, and you blew past the first one, that he's going to get destroyed when the House Ethics Committee report gets revealed. The hacker has already allegedly revealed it. But again, Bill, you said it earlier. You're innocent until proven guilty. The investigation has been dropped. He cannot be held accountable for anything in that report because
not
it is
legally,
not,
but
not
in the
consummated with a guilty verdict.
But you know how the court of public opinion is. So there's
do.
just no way. The only way he gets that job is a recess appointment, which, if Trump does that, he'll alienate a lot of Republicans in the Senate.
See, I disagree with you on that, Bill. I disagree.
You think? Wait. You think Gaetz is going to get through the Senate? Confirmed?
I do, and let me explain why. You and I have been doing this. I've been doing it 25 years. You've been doing it twice as long. But you know, the minute someone's elected, whether it's a House member, senator, or dog freaking catcher, the minute they're elected, they're looking for their next reelection. They're looking for donors. They care about those positions. Trump's got 4 years. So Senate seats are 6-year appointments. So anyone over the next 4 years that comes up does not want to get into the buzzsaw that is Donald Trump right now, the mandate that he's got. If you take down one of his appointees,
there are some people there are some senators who will go along to get along, okay? There are. But there are enough dissenters in there that he's not going to get confirmed. And I'll privately make a bet with you for charity, of course. Now, the other guy is Bobby Kennedy Jr. Right. So, I mean, he did a great job in New York cleaning up the Hudson River. People have forgotten about that. So he does have some administrative skill, RFK Jr. does. But his conspiracy theories, and they're going to ram those down his throat in the Senate confirmation. Some of them are so whacked out, it's just impossible to believe a responsible adult could actually say that stuff. And I don't see him getting through either.
Interesting you bring Bobby Kennedy up. By the way, both friends of mine, Matt Gaetz and Bobby Kennedy, need full transparency here. And I just texted Robert half an hour ago, not about this. So Robert Kennedy Jr., Robert Kennedy's father, was appointed Attorney General at 30-something years old by John F. Kennedy with absolutely no experience to be Attorney General. So let's just lay the groundwork for all the Democrats saying Gaetz doesn't have the experience to be Attorney General. But Bobby Kennedy has said he's not against all vaccines. He just wants more research done. We want to spend
say whatever
more
he
money
wants
finding
now.
out.
But there's a tape a mile long of him saying whacked out things about not just vaccines, but other stuff as well. And again, he's got a better chance than Gaetz to get through. But I don't think either of them are going to get through.
So can I just ask, your basis is that they're not qualified or things they've said. Let's take Lloyd Austin as the defense secretary.
No, that's a whataboutism.
Uber qualified, but failed miserably at the job.
Of course, there wasn't one cabinet member, not one, in the entire Biden administration for 4 years that did anything to help this country. Not one.
So qualifications don't mean you're going to be successful in
it's
the job.
About,
maybe a commitment to the boss's vision is more important.
Number one, Trump is making a mistake because he's creating turbulence with some of these picks that he doesn't have to create. Pam Bondi should be the AG. She ran Florida as the Attorney General. She's loyal to Trump. She's smart. And I mean, it's not even close between her qualification and Gaetz. And I could give you 10 in Health and Human Services that have more experience and are more focused than RFK. What Trump likes to do is blow things up and create all of this controversy. He loves it. He lives for it. But I'm submitting that in this time, you just won so big. You don't need to do, let's have some calm until your inauguration. And then, all hell's going to break loose after that. Last word.
My last word is we've done that before. And what Trump is basically telling the world, Democrats, even establishment Republican types, that it's his 4 years and he's going to do whatever the hell he wants. Yeah, there are probably more qualified people in every single position, including Secretary of Defense. But Trump is telling the world it's his policy. It's his ball now. You want to play ball? You're going to have to play in my stadium. In fact, all the referees are named Trump in my stadium. It's like going into Kansas City and trying to beat the Chiefs when every referee has the last name Mahomes. So, by the way,
that attitude can cut both ways. It can be good.
He's a disruptor, Bill. He's a disruptor, and disruptors disrupt.
But in order to be great presidents, after the disruption, you have to work for the people in an effective way. And you need good people to do that. Eric Bolling, you can check him out.
I will call you about that bet.
Okay, you're going to get it. And then I'm going to gloat. I'm going to gloat when you lose.
Okay, that's good.
All right. You didn't vote for this economy, but you're paying for it at the pump, the grocery store, and through that stack of unpaid bills. Financial stress crushing. The solution? donewithdebt.com. Unlike the others, Done with Debt has new aggressive strategies that free you from debt without bankruptcy or loans. They will negotiate with your creditors so that you'll have more money in your pocket from month one and every month until you're debt free. And the best news, Done with Debt is accepting new clients. But don't wait. Some of their debt strategies are time sensitive. Let Done with Debt hit the debt reset button for you and make your money yours again. But again, this is time sensitive. So visit donewithdebt.com or call 888-322-1054 right now. Chat with one of their debt relief strategists for free. Go to donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Let me ask you a question. Do you think our country is going in the right direction, or does it feel like everything's falling apart? If you are feeling alarmed, you're not alone. In fact, many Americans have taken action to prepare for whatever's coming next. And that starts with having an emergency food supply. Right now, you can get a 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. Comes with delicious foods like creamy stroganoff, honey wheat bread, mushroom rice pilaf. The entire kit offers 2,000 calories every day, lasts up to 25 years. Isn't that incredible? And who knows what our country is going to look like then. But when that disaster day comes, you will be ready. So please go to preparelikebill.com right now to order your 3-month emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply. That's preparelikebill.com. So there's a whole bunch of follow-up stuff here. I don't like to see anybody lose their job, even if I don't like those people, but some of them, they're so destructive that it's a good thing. The big headline here is this is passive retribution for Donald Trump. The people that hate him the most have all destroyed themselves. Trump didn't have anything to do with it. Okay? Now, I don't know how he sees it, but that's how I see it. So you know the story about Joe Scarborough's wife, Mika Brzezinski. They go to the Mar-a-Lago and all that. I told you about that yesterday. I told you what happened, why it happened, all of that. I'm not going to go over it again. But there's been ferocious backlash by both the right and the left on Morning Joe and the wife. I mean, ferocious. Rosie O'Donnell was an interesting study. Go.
So Mika and Joe went down to Mar-a-Lago to kiss the ring. It's the last time I ever watched Morning Joe. Period. End of statement. Unreal. Unreal. For months you were telling us he's the worst thing that could happen to this country and democracy. And then you go kiss his ring? Despicable. Despicable you. Both of you.
Are you surprised? Miss O'Donnell, are you surprised? Come on. It's all about money. You know? Smart life. Let's get back to good news. Smart life. So by this time, with a week to go, you should have your Thanksgiving dinner planned. I got the turkey last night. I carried the turkey, and the terror dog is confused. Holly, the terror dog, there's this big turkey, and I carried it down to the basement where the big freezer is, and I plopped it down. Butterball, all right? And we always get the best turkey we can get. So there is a study by Campbell, the food company. What sides on Thanksgiving do Americans like best? And here they are. Stuffing. All right. I like that sausage stuffing. That's number one. You're going to have turkey, you got to have stuffing. Mashed potatoes, of course. And then sweet potatoes. I have them both. That's a lot of potatoes. A little butter on them. Ooh. Sweet potatoes are good for you. Mashed potatoes, you got to be careful. All right. Green bean casserole. I just like the green beans. I don't need the casserole. I like the beans. Mac and cheese. No. We're not doing mac and cheese in the O'Reilly house on Thanksgiving. Not doing that. Okay? Here's what we're doing instead. Turnips. I never thought I'd say that word on television. For some reason, I love these turnips with butter on them, a little salt and pepper on them, and it's actually healthy, not too much butter. So we got turnips coming on. And a lot of people don't like turnips. I know that. And I don't know how it got, I'm not a big broccoli guy. And then, I do get the veggies. I eat the asparagus and the beans and all that because you have to if you want to live long. But anyway, mac and cheese, no. Couple other things out of the survey. 56% like the sides better than the turkey. Okay. And 38% just eat the sides. They don't want the turkey at all. It's the sides. And it's healthy. It's kind of vegetarian thing going on there. Anyway, we want you to have a very nice Thanksgiving. It's an important day. Thank you for watching the No Spin News. To watch the full episode anytime on BillO'Reilly.com, please sign up to become a premium or concierge member. Visit BillO'Reilly.com to sign up and start watching today.